Hi Leo, thank you so much for joining me. Welcome to the month of April and welcome to Aries season. Let's talk some astrology before we throw some tarot and oracles this month. It's quite a volatile month to say the least, but there's lots of breakthroughs, there's lots of up and downs, but I think you'll find for the most part there's a lot of ups. So on the 5th, Venus, the planet of finances, love and beauty, enter fun, flowy sign of Pisces, and it's about accomplishing a lesson, and it's really about coming full circle and being really free and going with the flow, right? I think this is the Venus objective in Pisces. You know, your finances take a turn, life begins to look like a movie, all of a sudden things are working out better than you could have even imagined. That's what this energy is about. And with a lot of Pisces energy being present in Aries season, I think you'll find that there's a lot of water, empathy and fire creation to this month. On the 10th, Mercury enters the sign of Taurus, where communication goes from being less volatile and quite aggressive to frankly more about grounding and really solidifying plans and the long-term game. On the 14th, Mars enters the sign of Pisces following Venus. And so both Mars and Venus are coupling really strongly together in 2022. And this is just another phase in the journey. And here they explore love in a fluid, out of the colouring lines kind of way. It's not so much about the practical, pragmatic, but more so about the ethers and the ethereal and what we feel and how a depth of what we can feel can really change and motivate us to really aspire for gaining better in our lives. On the 16th is when there is the full moon in the sign of Libra, and this is all about finding some balance. You know, it's a full moon about getting into alignment with the good and the bad and kind of going with both of it, going in the flow of both of it. The sun enters the sign of Taurus on the 19th of April, and there is a new moon solar eclipse on the 30th. So there's a lot going on, Leo, in April, and I think you'll find with Aries being a fellow fire sign, you're really going to appreciate this fire energy, just like bringing forward in you the need to want to get out, to socialize, to mingle, to be seen, to have your time being used in a fulfilling way. And so a lot of relationships, you know, resurface. A lot of people that, you know, they'll show up, people that are there to, you know, help you enjoy yourself and go out and have fun and, you know, really being part of a movement or doing something that propels you into a new direction. Just really making the initiative to do things. I've got the Chakra Wisdom Oracle, I've got the Psychic Tarot by John Holland, and I've got the Rider Waite also. Let's start with the Chakra Wisdom Oracles. This is one of my favourite combos, and I think Aries season being the beginning of the astrological new year, it's a good idea to get a lot of your New Year's resolutions down. Like, what are you trying to accomplish this year? Who are you this year? What are you doing this year? Do you know what I mean? Decide it all now and put it down into paper and watch it manifest. I think Aries season is a big one for manifestation because it is fire and it's got that creation element to it. And everyone's really enthusiastic. There's a spring in everyone's step. You know, there's evidence outside proving that life is coming back around again, you know what I mean? And so it's been a very cold, brutal winter. But Leo, I think you're going to find that this period really does warm you up. It really does get you in the mood to want to mingle and socialize. And Venus and Mars being in the sign of Pisces is going to have you wanting to explore. You know, be the little fishy, do the fishy thing, swim away, come back. If you come back, great. If you don't, it is what it is. You know what I mean? And so there is this explorer energy. There is this let's do things outside of the normal colouring lines and let's try something different. And I do think, Leo, that can be exciting. And sometimes we need that kind of excitement. And I feel like you know that you want that excitement. Right off the bat, rejection, eh? Very good. Oh, followed by joy, completion, perception, and impatience. So Leo, who's doing the rejecting? Is this you? Is it them? And there is also enlightenment. Okay. So it does seem like there is this journey of enlightenment that you're on at the moment, Leo. And I feel as if there's a lot of life lessons that are just kind of really kicking you in the sensitive bits right now. And they're lessons that must be learned because they're really making their presence be felt. So there's obviously some sort of higher thing here, some higher levels of consciousness here. The thing is, you've got to look at this rejection. Are you rejecting someone? Is someone rejecting you? The fellow seems to be haunted by voices in his head. And so it seems to be a bit of a distraction and a block to creativity. And I feel like somewhere along the line, some rejection that may have taken place may have really put a bit of a dampener on the joy. And so I think April for you, being a fire season, Leo, is very much about you focusing in on joy and what makes you feel joyful. Where has the joy gone in your life? Okay, did you deliberately let somebody else's actions kind of sabotage where you're at with yourself? And if that's the case, you got to know that there's a completion of that, right? Nothing stays down. Things have to change. Things have to change, right? Cycles always change. And so I feel like Aries season is the change. It's the new astrological year, right? And so for many, spring equinox absolutely means a new year. There is some work that needs doing on the way that you're seeing things and how you're seeing yourself. And I feel as if there is this point of impatience that you're reaching now, Leo. And I think you've just got to really trust that what's happening here is enlightenment. It's higher levels of consciousness. And sometimes I feel like the best thing to do is when we do get impatient is look at our triggers. And I do feel like rejection, sacrifice, there may be some things that you are having to leave behind, Leo. Some decisions that you made, some people that you know are just like, they're not conducive to your enlightenment. Exactly that. Patience and planning. And so April might be one of those times, even though it is very much like go. It's really funny because there's impatience here and then there's patience and planning, right? So I do feel like perception has a lot to do with this. And I do want to say, Leo, please try to meditate wherever you can. Because I do feel like if you try and rush something, you're going to miss the bigger picture. Suffering in silence and authority. And so you kind of have the authority over whether or not your time being spent is spent in suffering. And you kind of have the authority, Mars, Aries energy in this season to decide whether or not you're going to take enough authority and charge to really sacrifice the things that are getting you in the feelings of either impatience or rejection. And you've got to really focus, really focus on why it is that you've allowed yourself to suffer, or why you're allowing yourself to suffer, or what you think you're going to get out of this martyr syndrome. And then you kind of got to ask yourself, is it anybody else's job to make you happy? And if you're happy to suffer in silence, then maybe it's about time. And I feel like with Mercury having gone into Aries, you really speak up about the things that you're suffering about. Now, I'm not saying like you need people to co-sign your decisions here, but what I am saying, Leo, is that you very much have to take a bit more authority when it comes to matters of your joy, or how you deal with things like impatience and rejection. I think there is passion ignited, something that comes through in the month of April for you that's gonna have you kind of focusing or redirecting your focus into something that you know feels delicious. This could be art. I have a feeling this is your art. It's something that brings you joy. And I do feel like this is something that's going to help you really feel that there is the completion of a cycle which involved impatience, suffering, and rejection. And so what you've been doing is, I think, sacrificing yourself, where now you have to understand that in doing that, you were just suffering in silence, and now you can kind of put your foot down with the authority and reignite your own flame, right? Reignite your own flame. Don't wait for anybody else to do it for you. Flame, passion. What makes you feel passionate? What do you freaking love doing? And if your life does not involve that, then you're not living your life. And you really have to ask yourself what you're doing with your time. And if you feel like you need to busy it with like the rat race or working or making money, none of that represents who you are. Okay, so what I guess I'm really trying to say here is that you've got to really figure out what you're representing yourself as, Leo. Who are you? What do you love? What do you do? What are you here to do? And if you're doing any of that with passion, then I think it's safe to say that you're really in alignment and you're living your best life, and go right ahead, crack on. But the thing is, if you're here, and that's the throat chakra, I'm going to take that, bottom of the deck, you might need to speak. And suffering in silence kind of says it as well, and then the throat chakra. It's a really good idea to practice throat chakra guided meditations. If you would like any more help in how to do that, please book a reading, rubyreadstarot.com, and I'll go through that with you guys. Times like this where there is a bit of unsurety, or even if you are getting caught up in your triggers, Leo, I would strongly recommend that you book a reading, rubyreadstarot.com, just so that I can help, navigate with the tarot what this perception matter is, and why it is that you feel like you need to suffer in silence when that's literally just a decision that you've made about your life. Okay, you got to take some authority right now, Leo, and it's literally you deciding to stay in a place where you are with the passion ignited and you are feeling enlightened. Emperor energy twice. This is very strong Aries energy. Masculine authority and the High Priestess. I love that. Power couple or what? 10 of Wands, 2 of Wands, Ace of Swords, and the Knight of Swords. I feel like there is some sort of communication that's going to rush in really quickly, and it's about you speaking, again, throat chakra. Ace of Swords is the voice of reason, it's the truth, it's speaking from a place of real kind of balanced authority. And I do feel like there are places where you're going to have to be authoritative about cutting off certain relationships, certain people, certain things that have you disempowered, and frankly speaking, things that you know that you don't need to carry the weight of anymore. Leo, you might really need to connect with the moon cycles, and I do feel like this new moon solar eclipse that's taking place in your sign might be a really nice place to start. Okay, connect with the things that you know bring you freedom from restraints, make you feel lucky, make you feel abundant. Okay, there has been a lesson that you know that you've seen the finish line. It'll be soon before you can drop the weight on it. Really commit to higher knowing right now, because there is a sense of dropping some baggage so that you can move freer and move quicker. Please don't hesitate to cut things off, relationships with people that you know are just keeping you... Stop rejecting yourself. Stop rejecting what you know. Stop rejecting your worth. Stop rejecting the fun that you can have and the love that you can have, Leo. I think that's all I have for you right now. Book a reading, rubyreadstarot.com. Smash the subscribe button for me, Leo. Leave me a comment. I love it when you do that. Mwah. All the best. I love you. Have a wonderful April. Bye, guys.